Fox 29 Props and Locks. Sponsored by Fox Bet Sportsbook.
Yes, it is that time, our weekly get-together right here on Fox 29. Thanks for stopping by Props and Locks, the perfect show to combine your love of sports and money. We're here to help you fatten that wallet. All you have to do is download the Fox Bet Sportsbook app and you can play along from home. I'm your host, Scott Grayson. I have two experts here with me to help analyze everything. Say hello to Ronnie Duncan. He will break down the X's and O's for you. And look at Eitan Shander. How about that tie right there, huh? That is what is that, Eitan? There you go. A little Spider-Man right out of the desk of
one. It matches my bed.
Tom Shredder. And we're off and running. Okay, let's begin where we left off after our All-Star Game special Tuesday night, and that is with baseball. I never knew we were going to learn what kind of sheets you had on your bed tonight.
I'm talking about the actual bed itself. It's Spider-Man.
The second half of the season begins tonight for your Philadelphia Phillies. They open up here at home against the Cubs, who have struggled mightily lately. Kyle Gibson gets the start for the Phils. The Cubs lost 9 in a row before winning their final game heading into the All-Star break. The Phils, meanwhile, have won almost every series they played since June 1st. So, Ronnie, is this series against the Cubs a bit of a must-win for the Phils?
Scott, I don't know if you do the work around the house, but if you've got a broom, it might be appropriate for the Cubs. Remember, this is a team that has lost 9 out of the last 10 games. Can they win this series? This is the time of the year. For the Philadelphia Phillies, they cannot afford to win. They can only afford to win, period. Winning is what they have to do. Games like this and series like this, you have to win.
There's definitely a chance. You heard Ronnie refer to it, Eitan, about a sweep here. Now, you're not worried about the series. We're worried about tonight's game coming up here in about a half hour. How are you playing that?
I'm just curious. Are you familiar with a broom? I mean, there was a question pending out there for you, Scott.
Look, I have kids for that.
Look, there you go. Smart man. We talk all the time about VIG, about hold. That's the percentage that we're paying the Fox Bet Sportsbook app just to place a bet. So looking at something tonight, we want the lowest percentage. If you look at the run line at plus 110, that's the best VIG really out there right now. So we're going to take the Phillies -1 at plus 110, especially because the Phillies have been picking up as of recent. The Cubs, you mentioned 1-9 over their last 10, and I'm getting plus money for the Philadelphia Phillies at home, only laying 1 run. Sorry, but I'm definitely laying that 1 for plus money with the Phillies, and I'll go under 9 because the Cubs pitcher, Justin Steele, first time he sees the Phillies, and that's going to benefit him the first time through the lineup. So I don't think you see any offensive explosion, but definitely the number 1 play on the board is -1 at plus money. Man.
Hey, hold tight for a second. Your dad does what? Oh, Scott, I was just told by Will that you do all the sweeping at home.
Yeah. I try. When they don't, I have to pick up the pieces, right? Hey, the hottest team in baseball also has the longest playoff drought. The Seattle Mariners, how about this? Went into the All-Star break with a 14-game win streak. They host the division-leading Astros tonight. Now, despite this streak, they are still 10 games out of first in their division. I mentioned they are the team with the longest playoff drought in the league. The Phillies have the second longest drought. So, Ronnie, do the Mariners make the playoffs this year?
I can tell you with that question, you're the most optimistic thinker I know on the planet of the earth. Look, I know you saw the All-Star game and you saw what Julio Rodriguez did. I'm talking the 21-year-old who plays for who? The Seattle Mariners. He can be all that a bag of chips and a bowl of grits. They can have a 14-game winning streak. But before they make it back to the playoffs, trust me, the Phillies will.
Maybe both will with that extra wild card spot. That does help these teams for sure.
Right.
Eitan, how are you playing this series opener?
Again, we go right back to that. The no VIG on the run line is plus or minus 112. So when we look at that, really the value here is either laying the 1 for Houston at plus 110 or pushing this to an alternate run line at -2. I get it. Seattle has turned things around, but there's still, as you mentioned, Scott, there's a pretty decent gap between teams in that division. And I think looking at where Houston is right now, similar situation as we saw with the Phillies, taking on a lesser team, getting that type of return at plus 170 for the Astros -2 or -1. I'm sorry, but it's hard to pass up plus money on either of those. I wouldn't hate either play, -1 or -2.
And don't forget, though, that Houston had to come off the All-Star break, play the Yankees in a doubleheader yesterday, and then get on a plane and go up to Seattle. So we'll see if the travel affects.
Yeah, but I was more concerned about the layoff itself, and that didn't impact anybody. I mean, offense was up. It was a short slate, but you referenced the doubleheaders there. That's, I think, the exhale to where you don't have to worry about any struggling bats.
Last time I checked, they get paid to play baseball.
They definitely do, and they like cashing those checks for sure. The National League is full of some impressive pitchers, and the Cy Young Award seems pretty wide open. 5 different NL pitchers have at least 10 wins at the break. So, Ronnie, who is your pick for the NL Cy Young Award right now?
This may shock and amaze you, but it is Tyler Anderson of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I like the way he has come up, and he has a very strong arm. Look for him to do some impressive things that even Marcus Beasley can't do.
I'll keep.
Well, that would be like growing a mohawk.
Yeah, he's done that. But hey, I'll give Ronnie credit. He's been on Tyler Anderson for a while now. Eitan, a wide open race, though, tends to lead to some great value on the Fox Bet Sportsbook app. Where do you see the best value right now in playing the NL Cy Young winner?
Ronnie, this is proof positive right here that Scott doesn't listen to anything that I have to say, because you and I on the same show, I even had the graphic of Tyler Anderson and the numbers behind him.
Look, is Eitan speaking?
Exactly, right. You make it look like or feel like I'm at home, which I really appreciate that. The reality, though, is Anderson, he just doesn't have the innings count. Unfortunately, a lot of guys won't have the innings count next to Alcantara. If, in fact, there is a home push for the Philadelphia Phillies, forget that third wild card, but if they're able to narrow a gap and actually be in contention for the NL East, that's what you're betting on right here. Zach Wheeler's number is going to be around plus 800 or so, and you might even have the ability to cash out and make some money on the Fox Bet Sportsbook app. We're getting ahead of numbers. That's all this is. I'm not telling you Zach Wheeler's going to win. We're getting ahead of the numbers. That's all this is with futures bets.
Make you say,
heard the man. All right. Hey, the AL race is still a wide open one, too. Justin Verlander ended the first half with the most wins in baseball. He has 12 of them. So let's look at Verlander. He's a 39-year-old, but still going strong. He has won the Cy Young Award twice. Ronnie, does he get his third? And if not, who does?
You know what? If he doesn't, you're going to have to look the other way and find someone who could possibly just be that one individual, that one pitcher who could do it. But for my money, I'm going with Rip Van Winkle. I believe Justin Verlander can get it done again.
I'll tell you, keep an eye on that Alek Manoah. He definitely endeared people at the All-Star game, being mic'd up while he pitched. Eitan, same as with the NL, where do you see the best value in picking the AL Cy Young winner?
Value is the fact that both of you can give different names, and you still have the guy up there leading the league in ERA at over 2-1 in McClanahan. So it's hard with Shane McClanahan at plus 220 to ignore that. But look, Dylan Cease is having himself a season. Nobody's just talking about it. He's leading the majors with a $150 Ks. He's one of 5 all-time with 150 Ks and less than 80 hits in the first half of the season. If the White Sox even sniff the postseason, this man's going to win the Cy Young.
Okay, we understand you might not want to play with your own money, so good news, you can play for free. Baseball season is in full swing, obviously, and Fox Bet Super 6 is giving everyone more free chances to win $10,000 every Saturday. Simply download the Fox Bet Super 6 app now or scan the QR code on your screen and enter your picks into their baseball contest for a free shot at the $10,000 jackpot. If you pick all 6 outcomes correctly, you are a winner. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app today for more free chances at cash prizes all baseball season long. Time for our first break here. We hit the NFL.
Football.
Next.
This is Fox 29 Props and Locks, sponsored by Fox Bet Sportsbook.
Props and Locks rolls on. Say hello once again to our friend Ronnie and our resident Spider-Man guru, Eitan.
Well, no, I don't claim to know enough about this. Look, I mean,
better man, make a bet like nobody can. I can't call you Spider-Man, so I got to call you Better Man.
There you go.
Okay. I thought you were, well, forget it. We don't have to.
Be a superhero, Eitan, and help some people win some money playing NFL. Training camps are about to open, so let's talk about the league. We begin with a new quarterback in Denver, opening the season in his old stomping ground. Russell Wilson left Seattle for Denver. Wilson and the Broncos will open the season, as I said, in Seattle. Wilson closed one chapter in his career, and he opened a new one in Denver. Ronnie, is Wilson the guy who could take the Broncos deep into the playoffs?
He's a guy who has a hit song out, and he says this, "You're going to miss me when I'm gone." That's exactly the situation. Can you imagine being the player who played for a team that's playing the team that you now play for, and now you get to face your old team? Like Johnny Taylor used to say, it's cheaper to keep her. They should have kept Russell. He's going to make them pay. Denver wins the game.
I was wondering when Ronnie was going to bust out those pipes. Eitan, the Seahawks are a home dog. We have not said that much lately in the past. How are you playing this matchup?
Well, I don't care about the drama here. And as anybody knows, and we'll talk about this as we go forward in the NFL season, I have Nathaniel Hackett winning Coach of the Year, as well as Doug Peterson. Those are the two big plays there. But week one is going to be tough. We're going Seattle +4. In fact, I would wait until this hits 5. It might even hit 5.5 by the time it gets there. Russell Wilson is 4-10 straight up against the spread in road games played in the first 3 weeks of the season. Just needs some time to warm up. How about this? Hackett ain't the only one on his staff that's brand new. Every single person of consequence on this staff, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, head coach, all in new positions, have never called plays before in their career, and they're going to now go what? Win this game on the road laying points? I don't see it.
All right, it's also a new era in the ATL. Matt Ryan has moved on to the Colts. Now it appears Marcus Mariota will take over for the Falcons. They visit the Saints in week one. The Falcons have a new quarterback and a new head coach in Dennis Smith. Ronnie, can the Falcons realistically win this opener?
Absolutely, because Dennis Smith and Marcus Mariota have history. And when you have history, that could mean victory.
I like it. He rhymed
I like
it
it when
together.
it rhymes and makes sense.
So you're buying this. Eitan, the Saints are pretty heavy home favorite. They're -5 last I checked over the Falcons. I'm guessing you're swinging with the Falcons here?
This opened at 3.5. Okay, there's no smart reason why it would move from 3.5 to 5 outside of somebody saying, Marcus Mariota. Slow down, slow down. For the first time in a long time, Atlanta has a mobile quarterback. Arthur Smith did some good things with Ryan Tannehill in Nashville as a mobile quarterback. We also have Jameis Winston, who is now not having a head coach that's going to the Hall of Fame, like with Bruce Arians, then Sean Payton. Last full season for Winston, 19. How about 30 picks? 7 of them went for scores. And this is why you take a team like Seattle, or you take a team, in this case, as we're talking about with Atlanta, since 2004, teams who lost their star quarterback to a trade or retiring are 11-2-2 against the spread in week one, 5-0 as underdogs. So you better believe it that we're taking Atlanta here with the points.
All right, let's have some fun with predictions as if we haven't already, and let's focus on the Offensive Player of the Year now. Get this, the last 3 Offensive Player of the Year winners were not quarterbacks. They were Michael Thomas, Derrick Henry, and Cooper Kupp. Ronnie, who is your Offensive Player of the Year this year?
Look, I got the colors on. I'm talking about the Colts. I'm speaking of Jonathan Taylor. 18 touchdowns last season, 18,000 yards. He's going to run to the MVP. He's going to run to be the guy that everyone wants to be, number 28 for the Indianapolis Colts.
The Colts will certainly rely on him. And Ronnie was big on Taylor last year, too. Eitan, take Ronnie's analysis and help us find the best value in playing that on the Fox Bet Sportsbook app.
So when we talk about value, we look at where the global market has a number, and we say, all right, is there anything off on the Fox Bet Sportsbook app? You can get 200 points more value on a guy like Deebo Samuel on the Fox Bet Sportsbook app. So with the assumption that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get traded, more on that in a second, how about Samuel at plus 1,200, where normally he's going to be sitting at plus 1,000? Nick Chubb at plus 2,000. No matter what the quarterback situation is, Cleveland has one heck of a defense. If they start winning games, they'll probably trade Kareem Hunt as well. Nick Chubb might hit 2K on the ground. And while I agree Jonathan Taylor is the odds-on favorite outside of Kupp, no value there. I want outside shots like Chubb and lesser extent Samuel.
Plus 900, no value?
No, see, it's all about comparing, right? If I'm looking at Cooper Kupp and I'm looking at Jonathan Taylor, and Steve, our great director, if you could just bring that back up real quick, then you can see the numbers are not just the name. What this has to do is also who they're around. So Jonathan Taylor is around 900, 800, 1,100. I'm much better taking 300 more points of value in that group with Deebo Samuel than I am taking that lesser number with Taylor. It's just about value and the group that you're in.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. That's why we have you.
I know you're pushing back on me. I get it.
Just looking for some explanation. Make sure you're all up there. We have to take another break. We have a college football topic for you next on Props and Locks. Keep it here.
This is Fox 29 Props and Locks, sponsored by Fox Bet Sportsbook.
There is nothing better than increased odds, giving you a bigger return on your bet. It's called a Bet Boost. And Eitan, give us one you like for tonight.
How about that? Plus 275 from 235. All you need, Reese or Schwartz to hit a home run and the Phillies to win. Look, I think that is definitely a decent ask.
Well, it's hot, and the ball will be flying at Citizens Bank
and by
Park,
the way,
I would
Scott,
expect.
the Cubs, awful.
Okay.
Awful.
Yeah, you said earlier in the show. So did Ronnie. Ronnie called that too, talking about a sweep.
Hey, look, let's stop talking about it because it's starting to stink around here.
That's the Cubs in town.
Thanks for staying with us on Props and Locks. We talked about the NFL last segment. Ronnie and Eitan are ready to talk some college football now. We have just over a month to go until the college football season kicks off. Georgia begins its title defense on September 3rd against Oregon. They say hungry dogs run faster. The Bulldogs have to navigate the always challenging SEC. Ronnie, does Georgia win another title this year?
Back in the day, Ray Charles would say, Georgia on my mind. But he couldn't see this one even if he was alive today. They're not going to win a national championship. It's going to Alabama. Crimson Tide gets it done.
I like what you did there, Ronnie.
Oh, man.
Eitan, forget about the national title. Let's focus on the SEC. Where is the best value in playing the SEC champs?
See, I'd say even Ray Charles could see that one there, and that's the Aggies, all right? No letdown at all for the Aggies, beating Alabama, right? Here's the thing. We talk about futures odds all the time, gentlemen, getting ahead before a number dips. Well, you can bet that the season A&M is going to have before October 8th, where they take on Alabama, they are going to drop from plus 1,500 to probably somewhere in that 750 to 800 range by the time they take on Bama. I want to get ahead of that, absolutely. And Jimbo, he's just not a guy that rests on any laurels. He's fired up, and I like that.
Very superstitious. Writing on the wall.
That'll be fun, though, that week, because Jimbo and Nick Saban have definitely been exchanging
they hate
blows.
each other.
Look, don't let Don King get anywhere near this. It will be a pay-per-view fight. Trust me.
Absolutely. All right, now to NASCAR, which will run a street race in Chicago next year. That'll be fun to watch. But this week, they come into our neck of the woods. They'll be at Pocono Raceway. It's a 2.5-mile track and does pose some unique challenges for the drivers with various banking and degrees of turns on that tri-oval, as you see from above. It becomes difficult to set up the car to excel in one turn and still do the same in another. NASCAR hits that tricky triangle, the Pocono Raceway, which is a long one. It's the M&M Fan Appreciation 400 this weekend. There have been 14 different winners this year on the NASCAR circuit. Ronnie, do we see a different winner this weekend? Who do you like?
All you have to do is listen to the bearded one. You know you're having some fun because Martin Truex is somewhere in his mission. That's who I like.
Martin Truex Jr. All right, Eitan, you always look for value. Where are you finding it with NASCAR this weekend?
We were close last week with Mr. Chastain, finished 8th. We had him top 5, top 3. We'll go back. By the way, when's the street race here in Philadelphia? I want to see that. Top 5. I'm telling you, man, you're wheeling around Dickinson.
Every day on the Schuylkill.
Yeah, top 5 for Ryan Blaney, top 3 as well. Let's start there, plus 140. You'll see the top 3 in a second with our great director, Steve, once the page moves. Blaney has won here already in the Poconos. I don't know if you guys know that. Back in 2017, he's also had top 6 results in 4 of his last 6 races. So the fact that he stunk like the Chicago Cubs in New Hampshire, that's an outlier.
Pee-wee.
All right, hey guys, remember, there is a way to play for free. Baseball season is in full swing, and Fox Bet Super 6 is giving everyone more free chances to win $10,000 every Saturday. Simply download the Fox Bet Super 6 app now or scan that QR code you see there on your screen and enter your picks into their baseball contest for a free shot at the $10,000 jackpot. Why wouldn't you do it? If you pick all 6 outcomes correctly, you are a winner. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app today for more free chances at cash prizes all baseball season long. We have to take our final break. How can you win money playing the Union? Find out when Props and Locks comes right back.
This is Fox 29 Props and Locks, sponsored by Fox Bet Sportsbook.
Props and Locks takes you through everything in the sports world, and we try to help you win some money. We've talked about boxing, the UFC, and now, Ronnie and Eitan, how about we talk some soccer? Let's discuss the MLS and more specifically the Philadelphia Union, who will try to extend their winning streak to 4 games when they go to Orlando tomorrow night. The Union have not lost all month. Ronnie, does that streak continue?
If you want more, you got to go for 4. I love what Coach Curtin has been doing with this team. And look, when you look at the standings, I'm talking the MLS standings, who's number 1 in the East. It is that beast called the Union.
They are good just about every year. You got to give them credit.
Jim Curtin deserves.
Yeah. So, Eitan, how are you playing the Union?
Well, this is for anybody who wants to bet stuff that they don't know much about. We've talked about different sports, clearly, as you mentioned, UFC, boxing, soccer. Maybe you're a fan of the Union as far as a casual fan, and you don't know a lot about the sport itself. I'm going to give you the no vig lines, meaning you're not giving Fox Bet anything to make a bet. It's 169 for Orlando, 267 for the draw, 175 for Philadelphia. Guess what the closest number is? The Philadelphia Union winning this game.
And there you have it.
That's if you don't know anything about it.
It's a great lesson you just gave everybody. Good job, Eitan. We always love to show our viewers some love. Yeah, I know. I do it. With even better odds to help them win more, it's our Fox Bet Bet Boost. Eitan, what do you got?
Lucas Giolito, 6Ks, Chicago White Sox to win. There you go.
All right. On that note, our time together has come to an end. Get on that Fox Bet Sportsbook app. Turn what you heard here into your own financial gain. For Eitan Shander and Ronnie Duncan, I'm Scott Grayson. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next Friday night.